are you one of these players that needs to hit an extra ball on the warm-up or on the practice so you can feel the shot more? Or you know when it's time and you say, okay, it's enough, so less is more, and basically that's going to make you feel better on the match?
No, I think less is more, especially later on my career, because you need to be careful with your body.
Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, Stan.
No problem.
Super, it was such a dodge. Sorry. Yes.
So for me, yes, less is more, because you need to be basically fresh mentally, physically for the match. But I'm kind of the player who needs to have the hours of practice before that. I just need to find the right balance of when I can push myself and when not. But I'm not the player who's gonna warm up, miss the last smash, and ask for more smash because he missed one smash. You know what I mean. I know when I'm ready, and when I'm ready, I can completely turn off 1-2 days before the match.
Interesting. Because sometimes for me, I do both. Sometimes I feel like less is more, but actually also quite a few times I feel like if I miss a smash, I'm gonna make another one and another one and another one. And sometimes the warm up for the match goes for like 45-50 minutes. You know what I mean? And I feel
but
like
smash-wise, it didn't work yet.
Smash-wise, it's still not working.
So forget the warm-up, it's smash.
Exactly. So anyone out there that knows how to hit the proper overhead, please let me know. Text me, direct message, Instagram, I'll respond. Okay. So do we have any other questions maybe from the fans? Do you want to see
Do you have any questions? There was many. Let me check a bit what. Yeah, kind of question came back often is when was the match you lost and you were the most angry going out?
Well, one of them was with you, Roland Garros finals in 2015.
But why you were hungry?
And another one was probably also with you in 15. 16 in New York. I don't know, for some reason you make me angry, man.
Oh, come on.
You completely dismantled my game.
You guys can live a little bit for the others, so please.
No.
I've been 15 years on the tour, and I got only few, so please let me that.
No,
But why you get angry? Because you think you played bad? You think you missed the opportunity to get, or just because you lost?
Exactly. Well, not. Look, both of the matches that I lost to you in finals was at Roland Garros and US Open. I felt that it was a very similar trajectory of the match.
Yeah.
I started well. I won first set in both of the matches, and then some close games, pretty even in the second set, where result was kind of here and there. Didn't lose my chances, and that's where you pick up. And then you go to a level which was higher than mine, and you were a better player, and you won against me. So I was not upset with the way I've played, because if you just overplay me, if you're just better, that's it. I cannot be too upset because of that. I just have to accept it and say well done. But I was upset with myself that I repeat the same thing twice. That I allowed you to take over the momentum and the control of the match. And I feel like I had an opportunities in both second set of both finals to just win the second set, and then probably the match, or there would be a much higher chance for me to win with being 2 sets up. So this, I was upset with this kind of outcome, so to say, with my loss of concentration and loss of intensity probably in those moments. That's all. What about you?
Me, I will say was one match for sure, clearly. World Tour final against Roger, when I made a match front to play you in the final, but was not to play you, was just like to have the chance to play the final of the World to final for a tennis player is something so big. And I know that day I let him win. Like, there is not that match. I know I had everything in my game and in me to finish it, and I made the mistake. I shouldn't have done it. And another one, big one, was again Gasquet in Wimbledon quarterfinal. I think it was 2015, and I lost 6-4. And I think the level in general was really good, like for me on grass. But for me, I was really angry to not have the chance to play surfers, but not on grass.
I was happy, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Sorry that you lost that match, but I was happy.
Please, you would have killed me anyway on grass. But I would have. I wanted that day so much to play you in the semi-final of Wimbledon that I was really sad after that match.
Yeah. And how long does it take you usually after the match like that, where you, I don't know, you feel like you let yourself down in a way, I mean, how long does it take you to recover, like, and be ready for next match, next turn?
In World to Final, it took me. I let myself be down the next full day, but then I had to push myself because we were gonna play the Davis Cup 5 days or 6 days after. So I had two options: one to stay down and knew that day that then you'd not give yourself the best chance to play well in Davis Cup, or just be like, okay, I give 24 hours to my brain to completely be down, to be sad, to be mad, any emotion out, but then you focus on the next match. And the next match is so important that it's going to make you forget what you lost before that. But I also feel that earlier on in my career, it took me longer to get over matches, especially big matches. But when I start to after my first Grand Slam, it's always been short. It's always been short. Like, I lost. It's not the end of the world. Next one, go back to practice. You know what it takes. You know what you have to do to be at your best, or at least to give you chance for that. But normally, right now, like last few years, it doesn't take time to really get over it. I'm already thinking about, what do I want next?
Do you like watching your own matches and analyzing?
I feel like that's not something I'm the best at. I feel like I watch sometimes a little bit points there and point that, but for me, I feel like I know exactly what I did. I know exactly when I lost the match. I know exactly when I did this double fault. I know exactly that at that moment I went a little bit defensive. Like, I can tell you every match. I know what happened in the match. So for me, watching it doesn't really help me unless I do it with my team and then my team explains to me something, but they can explain to me without watching the match because I know exactly what happened. So that's not my favorite. I prefer to watch other tennis players. I prefer to watch you. In tournament, I love to watch the match. Like, when I'm back in the room, hotel, especially in Grand Slam, I put the TV on and I watch the match because I think for my career, I learned so much by watching you guys and practice with you guys. That's when it helped me so much to be a better tennis player.
Absolutely. Yeah, same for me. I think I love watching tennis. I think for most of the guys it's the same. When you're during the tournament, you're like always constantly following what others are doing and analyzing their game and trying to pick few things that you can implement maybe in your game and try. And I feel I also like, even when I'm not in the tournament, like when I'm at home, I like to go on YouTube, or I like to look at some replays and highlights of the matches, or some slow motions from like all the players, from Roger, Rafa, yourself, or anybody. And there's always something that is very interesting for me to really try out myself on the court next time I'm hitting a ball. But same like you, I don't particularly like watching myself. Even though I know that, like, Kobe Bryant, for example, was always talking about the importance of, even though you feel very bad about playing a certain way and you lost the match or whatever, that you have to go back, you have to go right away and see that replay, and even though if it hurts badly, you should stick with it, because that way you are also kind of proving to yourself that you can do that. And just sorry, sorry. So I do understand that there is an importance of that, and I do prefer watching and analyzing the videos of myself from the practice sessions, or like practice sets or whatever, if somebody records me, but not so much from the matches. And I actually like going fast forwarding through the match, like just at particular points of the match where, as you said, you know exactly. I feel is exactly the same. So I just try to look, because I use the memory of and remembering which part of the match was a change in my game that caused me to maybe lose that match, and I go to that right away.
For me,
see what happened.
Yeah, for me, if I watch my match, it's more to watch what my opponent did, because I know what I did, and I feel like I know the mistake I've done, but I want to understand why this player pushed me to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes during match, I feel like after the match, he played so well, he was so aggressive, he pushed me so much. And if I look back, I'm like, no, you gave him the balls to be aggressive. He wasn't an aggressive player. So I like to watch more to understand what happened at the opponent, from the opponent. Next game, this point, he can make the difference, and that's I think something I feel dangerous for me with age and later in my career, is that to not anticipate so much what can affect or not the match, and to stay more in the momentum, because you've been playing those matches so many times that you know exactly that one break point, 1 point at that moment can completely turn the match. So sometimes you think too much about the future and not to the moment.
For sure. All right, Stanima, let's see. We have a few more questions maybe here from the fans.
For sure,
you let me know if you have an interesting question that you want to...
I cannot get the question, only you, because you've been online.
But you can see the comments.
In
the comments. You both have the best backhand, one and two-handed backhands? Question mark. Was that a question, or is that the?
But we know about you. That's what.
I know about you as well, man.
So we're all good.
We're all good there. Okay, let's keep going. We got time. Okay, let's do two more questions.
One more question.
And
you get good question.
Let's see. Stan, are you 35? Are you 35, Stan?
Yeah, I had a great birthday alone.
35, man.
It's late, huh?
No, you look younger. What are you using? What's your secret potion?
You don't want to know. It's not vegan.
Let me guess.
Not vegan.
Let me guess. French wine,
more Italian wine.
More Italian. You like Italian wine?
Yes.
Ooh. More romantic soul right there.
Got any good question?
See, no questions so far. A lot of hearts. Thank you guys for being here.
Chrissy Everett is watching.
Where do you see tennis in 10 years? That's a good question.
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a very good. Actually, maybe Stan, you can answer that first, and you can tell me where do you maybe see tennis after Corona, and how is Corona?
Honestly, there is a lot of question mark about. Then I have one question also for you, because I read a lot of stuff. But no. After Corona is a lot of question mark. The first question is, when is going to be the after Corona?
Yeah. That's something that I think most of the people on this planet don't really know.
Exactly. Yeah. And the problem in tennis is we come from every country in the world to play one tournament.
Yeah.
So how can we handle that?
Yes.
How can we handle, even if we play without fans, there is, like in a Grand Slam, there is 2,000-3,000 people working for the tournament to make it happen.
Yeah.
So all those questions is quite complicated to handle it right now, especially that right now is the worst time. We are in the big crisis, so it's difficult to understand when it's going to happen for us.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. This kind of unpredictability is something that we are not used to. Also, I think as tennis players, we're always used to knowing what the near future is going to look like. We make our schedule, we make our plans almost 1 year ahead. We know where we are going, what we're going to play, where we're going to be. So this is very interesting, and at the same time also disturbing, for all of us. And I think what you mentioned about tennis being a global sport, the disadvantage of tennis comparing to maybe some other sports, like, I don't know, that are played on the national level, like NBA, NFL, NHL in States, is that we have to travel and change places so frequently, literally week after week. We have to be in a completely different country, on a different continent. And that's I don't know how that's going to be like in the future, near future, or whatever it is, whether it's in a couple of months that we can start to travel again or not. What is it going to be with the vaccinations? Is it going to be an obligatory vaccination for you to travel or not? It's it looks like, I mean, obviously, as you said, there's a lot of question marks, and we also have to, I think, consider some other maybe concepts included in tennis. Something that is, I guess, more played in a certain continents or in certain areas, like of Europe or States. I hope it doesn't come down to that, because our sport is all about international opportunity and about possibility for everyone to travel and play tournaments all around the world. But if this coronavirus situation escalates even more, I'm afraid that we are going to, in a way, have
find a solution.
Find some solutions, because guys who are ranked between 200, 250, especially to 700 or even higher, are thinking about leaving tennis right now.
Because they already barely make a living, so it's tough.
Exactly.
That was my question. About it. How do you? Because we all tennis fans and everybody start to read things that came out from the top. How do you think tennis can help those players who barely make a living, but they like to be 250 in the world in tennis? It's already amazing.
Yes.
And they barely can live right now. So what is the option that can help them to at least survive the coronavirus until we can start to play again?
Well, let me answer that question from two perspectives. First, short term, and then long term. I think short term, I spoke to Roger and Rafa a few days ago, and we had a long conversation about near future of tennis, what's going to happen, how we can contribute, and how we can help, especially lower ranked guys who are obviously struggling the most of anybody, because majority of the players who are ranked between 200 and 250 to 700 or 1,000 don't have federation support, don't have sponsors, so they are completely independent and kind of left alone. And so I'm really glad that ATP Grand Slams now, most likely, and players, hopefully, if we all get together, will contribute collectively to the player relief fund that ATP will distribute using certain models and criteria. Like, for example, I mean, you want to avoid giving money now to a player maybe that fits into this group of people that are ranked lower, but doesn't need money as much as maybe someone else. Because, he has been, I don't know, a top 50 guy for a long time. Now he's been injured, so maybe he doesn't need as much as the other guys need. So there is certain criteria, rules that will be in place, and ATP is working on that. So right now it looks like there's going to be hopefully somewhere between $3 and $4.5 million dollars that is going to be distributed to these lower ranking guys, and then other things short term that we can do, and that depends obviously on the continuation of the season, and that's something that the players also have to agree, is that whether or not in the certain tournaments, maybe World Tour finals, maybe bonus pool for top guys in the end of the season, that kind of money, whether that kind of money will also be transferred to this relief fund. Or if we don't have any tournaments this season, maybe we can collectively take certain percentage from our prize money from the Australian Open in January and direct that into the relief fund. So there are always ways that you can help. I'm really glad that tennis ecosystem is coming together, because I think everyone realizes the importance of the base of the tennis, and these guys are that are ranked from 250 onwards. They are the ones that make the grassroots of tennis, that make the future of tennis. And I feel we have to be united. We have to support them. We have to show them that they're not forgotten, that we are there for them. But also, I feel we have to send a message to the younger generations that are taking in consideration to be professional players, and to show them that they can live out of tennis, even at the times when there is a pandemic and there is a financial crisis, that they still can rely on the support of the top guys, of the ATP as a governing body, of ITF or Grand Slam. So that's short term. Long term, I think that what we did now in a short term, which is coming together for this cause, I think this is necessary to happen in a long term, which is more complicated, because as you know, there is ITF, that is independent entity, International Tennis Federation, and longest standing tennis federation in the history of our sport. Then you have obviously Grand Slams that operate as independent entities, and you have ATP as well, you have WTA. So all of us have to consolidate somehow and come up with a plan and a system that will support especially the base or the grassroots of tennis, which is this lower rank guys, both men and women. We have to somehow regulate better the initial levels of professional tennis, and allow these players that are starting to play professional tennis to have an easier way of transitioning to the higher levels. If you know what I mean. Because right now, a few years ago, there was a rule change with the challengers, the Challenger Tour, and the Transition Tour. I don't think that's good, to be honest, because it creates even more separation there. So there are ways. It's not going to be ideal, but I'm glad that at least